Judy.
Lisa, it's good to see you as always.
Ah, yes, it is. It's
You
good
have
to
a
see you
different
too.
hairdo, but I like it. I know there's lots more where that came from.
Just because, I think with any hairdo, you tend to pick a style and you tend to wear it like that over and over and over, whether it's long, whether it's short. And so, in the spirit of keeping things interesting, I try to do my hair different ways, even if it's like sometimes I go, well, that's interesting.
Well, obviously, I don't have that option, but I respect you for demonstrating what that's like.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, with that all being said, today we are on day
What's the
7.
date today? Today's the 6th, so it's number 6. No, it's number 7. Excuse me, number 7.
It's number 7 today, and today our word is center.
That's right.
So, what you were looking up something before. What'd you find?
Oh, I just looked up what it meant to be centered, and
Okay.
it said to be balanced and at peace. And then it's a state of emotional and spiritual equilibrium.
Ooh.
Because, I've always heard seminars I've gone to and things about centering yourself and being centered and looking for your center. And I've never actually looked up what that meant. So I thought, well, no time like the present.
That's a good idea. Okay.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
that makes when you say center and balance, I have a philosophical problem with the idea of having balance in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that if that's because I've just never been able to achieve balance or that life isn't meant to be balanced. I don't know if I'm going to write about that or if I'm going to write about being centered and about maybe my center. Maybe I'll
Well,
write,
maybe
all
you're.
different.
Go ahead.
When I think about my center, I think about like spirit
Mm-hmm.
and truth and being honest with what's important to me and doing what I know has value.
Mm-hmm. I think this is another one of those where there's no wrong answer. So
No.
it's whatever center means to you. That's what you're going to write about, right?
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Well,
Are you going to go with your definition? Or if you're going to go with that definition, what part of it do you think you're going to go with? Because it's got a number of components
it
that you could
does.
riff on.
Balanced at peace, state of emotional and spiritual equilibrium. That for some reason that resonates with me. That feels right. It feels like that is what being centered is all about, not being hung out one direction or another direction, but sort of having some balance in your life. Now, it doesn't, I don't think balance has to be a bad thing, but I think it means that you're not isolating yourself only in one area or another.
See, I think life is a series of pendulum swings.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's inevitable when you've got little kids, you're going to swing in the direction of family. And right now you're in a position where you're going to be focusing on yourself. I think life is full of dramatic swings in one direction or the other, which is inevitable.
You know what? I think we need to write about it. How's that?
That sounds like a lovely idea, Judy. Where did you ever get such a
Oh,
brilliant
I'm a
brainstorm?
genius. What can I tell you? Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Ready? I
Ready.
first. Get set and go. Okay.
I cheated a
If
little.
if you won't stop writing when the timer goes off and you won't stop writing when I tell you to stop writing, I'll just get the
I'm recording,
computer
right?
going. Exactly. Okay. This is so deep.
Well, it really is because at our center, we have the ability to allow ourselves to live in a state of frazzledness, lack of calmness, craziness, or we can have the ability to keep ourselves in a state of calm, not to be confused with inactivity, but rather with a sense of clarity in the present moment, no matter what that moment brings.
Mhm. I concur.
That's how I feel about
Okay.
the center and centering and being centered. I don't I don't believe that if I'm centered that I'm less creative.
Mm-mm.
I actually feel it expands my creativity because it eliminates a lot of those feelings that confuse us into believing things that aren't true. How
Mm.
about that? How
Yeah.
about that?
How about that?
What do
Yeah.
you think? What'd
I
you write?
Okay, so it made me think of when I was doing the yoga teacher training.
Mhm.
And we were doing some philosophy stuff and we were doing meditation. And our teacher kept saying, "But who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I really?
Mhm.
And how can you ever know?" And really what it comes down to is we are, and we can get into this in even in a religious sense. We are not simply our bodies. We are
Mhm.
not even our thoughts.
Mhm.
Who we are is much deeper and quieter and bigger than both of those things. It's
Mhm.
that center that I think you can access when you're meditating or journaling or laying in bed, just being super still and quiet. When
Mhm.
your mind is not running around like a crazy monkey.
Mhm.
And I think it's that, and it's so easy for us in our everyday lives to totally ignore the center and
Mhm.
totally just get wrapped up in the go 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 go. And really, the center is always there. It's I mean, and I think that's also where I'm going to get too deep there, too religious, but I think the center is our truth. And I think it's there and it's always there. But in our busyness and in our everyday activity, we can silence it.
We
We can,
squash it.
but it's not really squashed. It's just that we can. It's almost like you whitewash over it. It's
Mhm.
like, you do things so that you aren't in touch and and communication with that center.
Mhm.
That makes sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And do you think it's better to be in touch with your center, or do you think that it's better to just let it be?
No, no. I think the more in touch you are, the more centered, the more balanced you are, even in the midst of having a busy, crazy life. Because I
Mhm.
think, I guess what I was getting to before when you were talking about um, having a balanced life,
Mhm.
it has that whole philosophy of you can have anything you want, you just can't have everything.
Everything. Mhm.
And I think in your life, it's kind of like somebody said that way back in caveman times, people didn't eat balanced diets. It was summers of fresh, vegetables and greens and things like that. And then in the
Mhm.
winter, it was meats and, things that were stored. And
Mhm.
it was more of a yearly kind of a balance, but it changed as the seasons went on.
Mhm.
And so I think too in our lives, I think we're going to have times of focus and effort going in different directions.
Mhm.
And as long as you are in touch with that center, that during this season, I'm not going to be getting much sleep because I've got a little baby. Or in this
Mhm.
season, I really have a few weeks or months to really focus on this.
Mhm.
Or this is a season where I'm starting a new job. And so I'm really going to throw myself into work, but really being mindful about what where the pendulum is when it's in one side or the other, and knowing that this too is temporary.
This too shall pass, and you will again get into your emotional and spiritual equilibrium.
Boy,
What do
this
you
was a
think?
deep one. This was a
Well,
deep one.
and I almost stopped you because I just looked at tomorrow, and you know what our word is for tomorrow?
What?
True.
Oh,
And I heard you say truth and things around it, and I didn't want you to give any of that away because tomorrow it's all about true.
that's gonna be a good one. I can't wait. That'll be
Uh,
perfect.
See you
Okay.
then.
Okay. See you, Judy. Thanks. Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.